A paper towel wrapped around the lower hose will tell you if the pump is leaking.
All right, there's our raw water pump. We're going to have to replace because it's leaking on the back side. So looks like this hose here is going to have to come off. This is going to have to come off, and those bolts in the back are going to have to come out. Okay, so here was the key to making this thing work. This strainer has 3 bolts in it, one on the top left, one on the top right, one on the top bottom. You can get to the 2 on the right. You have to take those out and then loosen the one on the left, and then you can twist this strainer over counterclockwise and then you put the pump on its shaft and then twist it into, you put the hose on the strainer and then twist it into the pump, and that's the way you have to work it to get the cotton picking hose on between the strainer and the pump. Now I'm going to put the 2 bolts back on the right side of the strainer and then hook up the other 2 hoses, and it ought to be done. Hey, just a couple other things to remind me. Yeah, I had to take this cover off in order to pivot the water strainer. There are 3 screws that you don't have to take all the way out, just loosen them, and the cover is slotted, so you can just lift it off, and then you'll be able to turn the strainer without the body of the strainer running into the bottom of that cover, so you can twist it. And the other big thing is when you take this big long hose off of the strainer, it'll start flooding. So take it out of this bracket here and put it over between these 2 shutoff valves, and then tighten up your clamp so that it rubs against these to hold it up high. Otherwise it'll flood the bilge on you. I had to stop and pump out the bilge so before I could finish up the job. The other thing is make sure you've got some marine grease or some Vaseline jelly or something to put on these spouts and inside the hoses to make them so much easier to get on and off. 2 other quick things just came to mind here. The first hose that you'll get off is this long hose coming from the thru-hull up to the raw water seawater pump, and you'll loosen up your clamps and then stand on it, and you can get that one to go down. There's enough flex in it to get it to go down, and then you can start taking off your other hoses. But that's the first one that'll come off and the last one that'll go back on. Hey, just one last thing. The overhauled raw water seat pump does not come with an impeller on it. It's got the cover on it. It would be pretty embarrassing if you installed it and cranked up the motor with no impeller in it. But I think there's very little danger of that anyway, because you have to work the impeller from this side to get the slotted key to go in to the motor there. But just a heads up, there's no impeller installed on the pump.